Once upon a time, in the city of Achudowe, there lived a very wealthy family made up of the father, Mr. Mukacho, his wife, Mrs. Mukacho, and their two daughters, Kedeyi and Womi. They all lived in a grand house in the pushy section of the city. Mr. and Mrs. Mukacho wanted their two daughters to achieve great heights in the society so that they will look elegant and bring the good name of the family to reality. So they tried their best to equip both girls with the right skills. The couple gave their girls all they could in terms of material things of the world. They had beautiful clothes, nice cars, shoes of the expensive sort, and many other things. Mrs. Mukacho, who liked the social life of the city, introduced her two daughters to the high life of the elites in the city. Kedeyi was the older one of the two, and they were opposites in character. Kedeyi was an extrovert who enjoyed all the drama and flashy lifestyle her mother had introduced her to, while Wami, on the other hand, was different entirely. Wami was an introvert. She detested the flashy things of the society and loved living a quiet, peaceful, and loving life. She loved reading and writing novels and hated the extravagant ways of spending money when not necessary. She often dressed well and modestly. She never spent when not necessary. Her parents often scolded her for it and told her to go out each time to shop and spend money as much as she wanted because the money was there. But Wami always felt that if they kept spending that way, it will finish one day, although she knew her parents were excessively rich. Kedeyi was slim and beautiful, with a light complexion, high intelligent forehead, and a well-shaped face. She had an elegant and well-shaped body and walked gracefully whenever she moved. Wami, on the other hand, was very fat, and although beautiful, was not as beautiful as Kedeyi. Wami was also light-skinned, but she knew her parents loved Kedeyi more than her because Kedeyi was prettier. Their mother often scolded Wami, "You must stop eating too much food and carbohydrates to watch your weight. Can't you take example from your Kedeyi, your sister, and shape up yourself?" "Mother, please, I can't starve myself because I want to look tiny and beautiful. I'm already created well and I'm satisfied with it," Wami will reply each time. "I wonder how you'll find a good man to marry you with such a stature, a fat stature like this," her mother will reply angrily. That was what Wami always faced from time to time. Kedeyi, their favorite daughter, flirted with the young, rich, and highly placed bachelors in the society, propelled by her mother, while Wami tagged along at the background. Most times, Wami will excuse herself from them and go to somewhere quiet to stay. But she loved staying at home to read her novels. Occasionally, when the family were not around, she will stay at home reading without anybody's intrusion, and they often return very late at night. Such a way of living was not for Wami. Wami was very friendly and close to her driver, Chidi, and on many occasions when her family was not at home, they would spend time talking and discussing about novels, books, and interesting things they had read, books they had read. They usually exchanged novels too because it was their common interest. Since they were often left at home together, they spent most of their times discussing, reading, laughing in friendly way, and talking about their problems and solutions to their problems. But one day, when Wami was completely down after a verbal shower on her by her mother, she was crying and feeling bad when Chidi, the driver, came in to look for her. Her parents had already left. Chidi held her very close, consoling her. He had fallen in love with Wami, but because he was not rich enough to measure up to her standard, he could not tell her. As he consoled her, he told her with love how he loved her, how he cared, how he will always be there for her, and she should not feel bad because she was fat. You are beautiful and charismatic in your own way, my love, he whispered, kissing her. Woman was so surprised to hear such loving words from him that she held him and succumbed to those expressions. Before they knew it, emotions ran so deep that Chidi made love to her that night. From that day onward, they became inseparable, and within 2 months, when Wami began to vomit, her parents were worried. They took her to the hospital and they were told Wami was pregnant. You could have seen the chaos that followed. When Mr. and Mrs. Mukacho insisted on knowing who had pregnated her, they wanted to know because they were happy that at least Wami had used her hand to choose a good man for herself and they would just marry her off to the person. But when they heard that it was the driver, Chidi, that had pregnated her, they were shocked. What a shame and slap to the family, her mother cried sadly. Wami has brought shame to the family, she cried. Well, she has chosen the path she wants to follow, her father said. Let her be. That angered his wife so much that Mrs. Mukacho sent for Chidi, the driver. And when he came, she pounced on her. So, when I'm not around, you are busy driving my daughter to the state of pregnancy instead of driving her along the road? She asked. Look at you. From today, you are no longer needed in the services of this family, she said. Then added, and as you are leaving, please take Wami your baggage along. Take her with you. She's now your responsibility. And she turned to Wami and said, can't you read between the lines that this good-for-nothing Chidi is after your wealth? Otherwise, what will he do with a fat baggage like you? It was like a slap in the face, for her mother had called her a fat baggage. Wami flinched at that, at those hurtful words, and Chidi came immediately to stand by her. Angrily, her mother chased them out of the house with the most hurtful words she had ever heard. And from now onwards, swore me, I disown you of all the family fortune, of all the family wealth. I disown you of them. Wami was crying. She was crying because it seemed her world had crumbled. Wami and Chidi, without a dime to their names, left the house in shame. Chidi immediately sorted for his friends, and then he was able to secure a room for both of them to spend the night. The next morning, Chidi went out to look for a marriage registry, and there they got married quickly because he did not want any illicit affair. My love, he said, looking deeply into Wami's eyes, and I have you as my wife. I will always love you forever. Never mind, I love you so much, and wealth is not my reason for loving you. I know by that special grace we will survive it all, we will make it. Nothing is impossible in the world. 9 months later, Wami gave birth to a baby boy to the joy of Chidi, and together they nursed the baby in love and truth. They did not know how to take care of a baby, but they managed. After about 2 weeks of Wami giving birth, her mother and sister came to the house to see her. Her mother was furious at the poverty state they were living and told Wami to leave Chidi and follow them back home to all the riches that she was born in. But Wami refused. Thank you, Mom, Wami said. When you drove me out of your house because of my becoming pregnant, Chidi did not abandon me. He stood by me and loved me, showered me with so much love, more than you and my father had ever given me. We are married now, and he is my legal husband. So, whatever way we are, we will manage. Thank you, mother. Her mother and sister, after sneering and squinting at their faces and the napkins hanging all over the place, with all the smell of a newborn baby being born. They left, and the mother said that she was going. You can suffer as much as you want, stupid girl, as she walked away with her elder daughter. Chidi and his wife continued loving each other, and each day they read books after he had returned from the daily casual jobs he went out to hustle. One day he told Wami they should try and submit the manuscripts they had written to publishers. Wami agreed, and they started working towards it. A year and a half later, Wami gave birth to another baby boy. Her mother was completely shattered once again. And when Kedeyi was getting married to one of the richest and most eligible bachelors in the society, they were not invited. Wami felt bad, but since she had Chidi's love and care, what would she ask for again? Chidi doted on her, and with her two sons, hustling was easier to go through. 5 years later, Wami and Chidi were now having three children, three sons and a daughter. Luckily for them, their books had been accepted by a big traditional publishing house. They were both paid handsomely, and they moved to a better place to live, and life became easier for them. Years flew by. Wami's parents realized life was not the way they saw it, and when they saw that Kedeyi, after many years of marriage, was not having children, and her husband's family was threatening to throw her out of the house, they realized that Wami and her children were very, very important to them, were a blessing to them. They decided to go and seek for Wami and her husband's forgiveness. They had also seen that Chidi really loved their daughter and was not after their wealth. They saw Chidi and Wami's names on the telly and newspapers with their achievements as writers, published and announced, and it was a thing of respect. They all went to beg Wami and her husband, and at last became reunited. They loved and doted on Wami's children. And to their surprise, it was after that that Kedeyi became pregnant and gave birth to a baby boy. It was a happy thing indeed, and their parents realized that every child in this world have their own destinies, and every child cannot be the same in life. Please share the videos. That's the end of it. Thanks for watching.